I have to say, I think Keir Starmer, who, how old is Keir? I think he might be in his late 50s, early 60s. He's probably fitter than I am, and I'm 37. I think he plays football very frequently, and probably more, if I might say so, to my friend and colleague Lord Mandelson than he does.
Well, the Prime Minister wasn't safe from his lordship's acerbic tongue either. In a sartorial mic drop, Mandelson said that Rishi Sunak, in his small, tight suit and skinny tie, opts for clothing that diminishes rather than expands him. Nice man. I think, Lord Mandelson dispensing fashion advice is a bit weird, to be honest.
Rich.
Although he is, having met him many times, he is a very kind of curious, clinically well-cut, if not bizarre, oddball of a character. And he likes things to be sort of tied in a certain way. His desk when he was in office was, had sort of one thing on it, which I think was a signed photograph from Prince Charles. He's that kind of character. But the wider point about Starmer, actually, forget the fact that he might have put on a little bit of wood, as the phrase goes. Do what Thatcher, go to speech school, get rid of that nasal nonsense, whatever the hell it is you're doing. If you want to attract more voters, it's that sort of horrible kind of, I don't know what's happening.
Is it adenoidally?
Yeah, and given that this man spent years in courtrooms, defending people, one would assume with a proportion of success, I'm slightly, if I was on a jury that he was, I think, well, clearly this fella's no good. His voice would grate. His voice, I think, could change. And if it's about seriously getting more votes, I think that is far more pressing issue than the fact that he's turned into a massive fatty.
Well,
I didn't even notice he'd put on any timber.
Neither did I.
He looks fine.
The thing is, if anyone said this about a female,
Oh my
I know,
God.
Keir Starmer. If this was Keir Starmer, Lord Mandelson would not have said a word, because we know the double standards, and yes, women are held to a higher standard about how we look. But the reality is, you wouldn't say this to a female
No
colleague.
way.
So I don't think you should be able to say this to a male colleague. And you're right, Keir Starmer needs to probably work on his nasal speech, a la Ed Miliband, than the way he looks. To be honest, I think these are the kinds of things, the fixations of politics, that irritate me a little bit, because we're talking about style over substance. Right? What is Rishi Sunak supposed to do? Grow 3 more inches? I mean,
no, but he can have better fitted suits.
Well, but the thing is, the reality is, it's largely inconsequential.
No, it's
because
not.
A charismatic, powerful leader, someone that owns a room when they walk in, someone like Blair or Obama, it's not down to
Blair had normal suits.
It's not just down to how they look. It's about how
good.
they carry themselves.
No.
Both of the leaders of the Tories and the Labour Party are uncharismatic nerds. It's not about how they dress.
It is, because it's a total package. You want a prime minister or a president who talks well and also has the look, has the flair. When you put
Sunak has the look. His suits are the best thing about him.
No, his suits look like a schoolboy. They're too short.
Why are they too short?
Yeah, he's gone for that kind of slightly Italian vibe with his fashion.
Someone must have told him years ago that having them a bit too short somehow made him look taller.
That's such a look at him.
I actually
the human pipe cleaner that is Rishi Sunak.
Pipe cleaners are long and thin. I mean, he's not that.
Well, yeah.
Look, I actually think presentation does really matter, and it used to really annoy me that Boris looked such a mess when he was going abroad. Representing our great country, looking like he just got out of bed, really slovenly. I thought it was disrespectful, frankly, quite insulting to us as a country.
Also, Mandelson has made a career, and a very successful career, back in the day, of advising politicians on their image, whether that's what they say and how they say it, or whether that's how they present themselves. And he did talk about how he used to advise Tony Blair on sort of what to wear and so on. But the other thing that amuses me, Esther, you're absolutely right. If a man or a woman had said this about a woman, all hell would have broken loose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Totally. But
NHS,
you can tell how ambitious a politician is feeling quite often by whether they're gaining or putting or taking off pounds. So it's quite unusual in some ways that Keir Starmer is chubbing up a little bit. When you look at people like Penny Mordaunt, who suddenly was a front runner, and was suddenly, was suddenly shifting a lot of weight. You can see, there's somebody who is on manoeuvres.
With obesity being such a thing, for a problem in this country growing, I don't think it would be an issue for our next leader of the country to shed a few pounds.
Well, he's not obese. I mean, he's not.
He's overweight.
He's not Therese Cough.
He's overweight. No, he's not Therese Cough. No, he's not Therese Cough. But he has put on a bit of weight. He plays football. That doesn't mean that he's naturally healthy, though.
Well, the one thing we know that will happen if and when he gets into Downing Street is he will go completely grey pretty much overnight.
Exactly.
'Cause that's the thing that happens to PMs.
It's already grey. Well, anyway.